Fatty liver? Stop eating these foods after 60. Eat these instead. If you're over 60, one common food may be silently turning your healthy liver into a fatty liver right now. And chances are, you're eating it every single day. Most people think liver disease only happens to heavy drinkers. But what if I told you that millions of older adults are quietly damaging their liver without touching alcohol at all? And even worse, many are doing it while believing they're eating healthy. Before we begin, if you care about staying strong, independent, mentally sharp, and healthy after 60, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications because every week we share trusted, science-backed health advice designed specifically for seniors. And before we get started, comment below, healthy liver, because small daily habits truly can change your future health. Now let me ask you something. Have you ever felt more tired than usual lately? More bloated after meals? Maybe you've gained stubborn belly fat that just won't go away no matter what you try. Perhaps your energy feels lower than it used to, or your doctor recently mentioned elevated blood sugar, cholesterol, or something called fatty liver. If any of that sounds familiar, today's video could be one of the most important health conversations you hear this year. Because your liver may be struggling silently without you even knowing it. You see, your liver is one of the hardest working organs in your body. In fact, it performs over 500 essential jobs every single day. Think about that for a moment. While you sleep, your liver is still working. It filters toxins from your blood, helps process medications, regulates blood sugar, supports digestion, stores nutrients, burns fat, balances hormones, and acts as your body's natural detox center. But here's the problem. When the liver becomes overwhelmed for too long, it starts storing fat. First comes fatty liver, then inflammation, then scarring. And over time, in serious cases, that damage can slowly progress towards cirrhosis and liver failure. Years ago, most liver disease was strongly connected to alcohol. But today, things have changed dramatically. Millions of older adults now develop what doctors call fatty liver disease without alcohol being the main cause. So what changed? The food. Specifically, modern eating habits that quietly overwhelm the liver day after day. And unfortunately, much of the advice floating around online only tells half the story. One of the biggest myths people still believe is this idea that eating fat causes fat. People hear fatty liver and immediately assume fat is the enemy. They think if they eat eggs, red meat, butter, or foods containing saturated fat, somehow that fat magically turns into liver fat. But the body doesn't actually work that way. Let me explain something important. Think about a cow for a second. Cows have fat in their bodies, yet cows don't eat saturated fat. They eat grass. Somehow, through a natural biological process, their body converts energy into stored fat. Humans work in a similar way. The bigger problem is often excess fuel, especially sugar and processed carbohydrates combined with high insulin levels. When you consistently eat more fuel than your body needs, particularly foods that rapidly raise blood sugar, your body starts storing energy instead of burning it. Over time, some of that stored fat ends up inside the liver. Eventually, the liver becomes congested and insulin resistant, making it harder and harder for the body to burn fat efficiently. This creates a vicious cycle. High insulin encourages fat storage. More liver fat worsens insulin resistance. And the more insulin resistant the liver becomes, the harder it is to recover. Now let's talk about some of the foods people are told to avoid and whether that advice actually makes sense. First, salt. Many people hear that sodium causes water retention and assume it's terrible for the liver. But for most healthy people, sodium itself is not the main issue behind fatty liver. Yes, people with serious kidney problems, hormone disorders, or certain medical conditions may need to watch sodium carefully. But for the average older adult, salt is usually not the reason liver fat develops. Focusing only on salt can distract people from the real danger hiding in plain sight. And that danger is sugar, especially fructose. This may be one of the most important things you hear today. You see, not all sugar affects the body the same way. Glucose can be used by many different cells in your body for energy. But fructose is different. Fructose is primarily processed by the liver. That means every sugary soda, dessert, candy bar, sweet tea, sugary breakfast cereal, flavored yogurt, pastry, processed snack, or sweetened drink increases the burden placed on the liver. And here's the shocking part. Roughly half of regular table sugar is fructose, which means even people who think they're not eating that much sugar may still be overloading their liver every single day without realizing it. And sadly, most people don't notice the damage until they start feeling tired, gaining weight around the belly, struggling with blood sugar, or hearing their doctor mention fatty liver during a routine exam. But here comes the controversial part. Even natural sugar can become a problem when consumed excessively. Now don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying fruit is bad. Fruit contains fiber, antioxidants, vitamins, and nutrients. But there's a huge difference between enjoying fruit and overdoing fruit. Many people believe if something is natural, there must be no limit. They drink giant fruit smoothies, eat large amounts of bananas, mangoes, pineapple, grapes, watermelon, and fruit juices believing they're helping their health. But your liver doesn't ask whether fructose came from candy or fruit juice. It still has to process it. A few berries? Usually not a problem. But too much fruit sugar every day can quietly add up faster than many seniors realize. And speaking of foods many people misunderstand, let's talk about starches. Rice, bread, pasta, crackers, potatoes, cereals, oatmeal, even whole grains. I know this might surprise you because for decades people have been told whole grains are healthy. But healthy compared to what? White bread, donuts, sugary desserts? Maybe. But that doesn't automatically make them healing foods for someone trying to reverse fatty liver. Most grains eventually break down into glucose, which raises blood sugar and insulin. And remember, high insulin makes fat burning harder, especially for someone already struggling with fatty liver or insulin resistance. Many seniors say, "But doctor, I eat oatmeal every morning and feel fine." And maybe they do, because there's a huge difference between maintaining okay health and reversing an existing health problem. Someone who is metabolically healthy may tolerate some grains perfectly fine. But if someone already has insulin resistance, elevated blood sugar, belly fat, or fatty liver, they often need stricter changes to help the body recover. And while we're here, we need to talk about fried foods because this may surprise you. The biggest problem isn't necessarily the fat or calories. It's often the oil. Most restaurant fried foods are cooked using highly processed vegetable oils and seed oils that have been repeatedly heated at high temperatures. These oils become unstable and may increase inflammation in the body. Your liver already works hard enough every single day. Why make its job even harder? Now let's clear up another major misunderstanding: coffee. You may have heard that coffee protects the liver. Research suggests coffee drinkers often have better liver outcomes compared to non-coffee drinkers. But here's the thing. Coffee is not magic. It's not some miracle superfood. Sometimes coffee drinkers simply drink less soda, sugary beverages, and unhealthy drinks. For many people, 1 or 2 cups of coffee can be perfectly reasonable. Just don't believe coffee alone will reverse liver disease while everything else stays the same. Because there is no miracle food. And this brings me to something I strongly believe. People love the idea of superfoods. They want one magical thing to fix everything. One smoothie. One supplement. One secret food. But health doesn't work that way. No food cancels out bad habits. You cannot overwhelm the liver every single day and expect one healthy food to rescue it. Real healing starts when you remove what interferes with health and support what helps the body function better. Now here comes the part most people aren't expecting. Foods many seniors fear may actually support better liver health. Let's start with healthy fats. Extra virgin olive oil contains monounsaturated fats that are relatively stable and far less inflammatory than heavily processed industrial oils. Quality nuts like walnuts, pecans, and macadamia nuts can also be satisfying foods because they're lower in carbohydrates and may help reduce cravings and overeating. Then we have omega-3 fats, especially from fatty fish like salmon, sardines, and mackerel. These healthy fats support the body in important ways and may help reduce inflammation linked to metabolic problems. Eggs are another misunderstood food. For years people feared eggs because of cholesterol, but eggs are loaded with nutrients the body needs. They contain choline, an important nutrient involved in fat metabolism that may support liver function. Eggs also provide valuable protein and nutrients that help maintain strength as we age. And let's not forget quality protein from meat. Despite years of fear surrounding saturated fat, good quality protein can help stabilize hunger, reduce snacking, and support muscle mass, something adults over 60 desperately need to protect. Strong muscles help improve metabolism and support healthier aging overall. One of the most helpful categories of foods for the liver may also surprise you: cruciferous vegetables. Foods like broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, kale, bok choy, and leafy greens contain beneficial plant compounds that support the body's natural detoxification processes and may help the liver function more efficiently. And here's something important I want you to remember. Healing the liver is not about perfection. It's about consistency. Your body wants to recover, even after 60, even after 70. But recovery requires reducing the overload. Less sugar, fewer processed foods, smarter carbohydrates, better proteins, better fats, more nutrient-dense foods, more movement, better sleep, less inflammation. Small choices repeated every day create powerful results over time. And if you take one thing away from today's conversation, let it be this: your liver is incredibly resilient, but it cannot heal if it's constantly overwhelmed. The good news? The moment you start making better choices, your body begins responding. Energy improves. Blood sugar improves. Belly fat becomes easier to manage. And your liver has a chance to recover. If this video helped you, subscribe to the channel and tell me in the comments. What food are you most surprised to learn may be harming your liver? I read every comment, and your story may help someone else make a life-changing decision for their health.